CZ calls disgraced FTX founder Bankman-Fried a psychopath over tell-all threat.
Are reminiscent to some extent of some of what you saw in 2008, where you basically have non-transparent systems and, you have people who are putting on an amount of leverage that was not well understood. Ultimately it came back to bite them.
CZ appeared to have a real concern for the crypto space, and he believes that what occurred will set the industry back a few years. But before we listen to CZ, if you're new to the channel or not subscribed, make sure you subscribe as we put out daily content to keep you updated on the current market and news.
So with such a big player going down, I think we're seeing $30–40 billion of value that's the FTX valuation that was before that they raised that, plus quite a few $1 billion of user funds that's kind of gone. So with this type of events happening, it's devastating for the industry. A lot of consumer confidence is shaken, and I think basically we've been set back a few years. Now regulators rightfully will scrutinize this industry much harder, which is probably a good thing, to be honest. I think now, before, the regulations are much more focused on KYC and AML. I've always been saying, look, you got to focus on the exchange operations. Business models, proof of reserves, where the user funds. So I think we'll come into a lot more scrutiny on those fronts. But actually, that's good for the industry. Having that setback, short term is very painful for a lot of retail investors. That's on FTX, etc. But we feel that pain. Longer term, I think this is another wake-up call to say, hey, look, we're in a new industry, there's a lot of risks, build a much healthier industry. So I think the last 3 days is just a revelation of problems. The problems were there way longer, right? So like this problem wasn't created in the last 3 days. So basically, we have an exchange, FTX is misappropriating user funds. They were taking user funds to do other things. I think the trigger was like a week ago. There was a CoinDesk article. And then my team says, well, hey, CZ, we still have this, we still have a lot of FTT coins. Like, what? Should we sell it? Sure, why not? So the next day, there was a big transaction reported by Where Alerts saying that like $580 million US worth of FTT was transferred to Binance.com. And my team's like, CZ, this is our transfer. I was like, well, really, you sure? He's like, yeah, he's sure. And should we be, there was discussions in the community, and should we be transparent about it? It's like, yeah, sure, we should be transparent about it. And then he said, CZ, you should write a tweet, because we don't, like what we'll call the interns, our PR team says, we don't really know how to write this particular one. This is quite sensitive.
Subscribe to Retire Young Hacks to get breaking news on the world of finance.